There's a editor-in-chief. We're about 10 minutes late from our announced time.
Sorry.
But people are waiting. Oh, Dougie Fisher has not only the 360 promotions, which was not planned ahead of time, but the matching yellow shoelaces.
Yes,
that's true.
You got to do that.
And the HBO,
I learned that from Coach.
HBO boxing hat. Is that is that in honor of the recent announcement
Superfly
of
3?
Superfly 3?
This is where you watch it.
September.
HBO.
What day is that? September 8th at the Forum, right?
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, so 1 month prior to Superfly 3, there's Hollywood Fight Nights.
Exactly 1 month, August
8th,
right,
and then 30 days later, the triumphant return of Kazuto Ioka.
Yes. A lot of people.
And he's fighting McWilliams, right? McWilliams Arroyo. So he's in with a lot. Yeah. So this dude, 3-division champion from Japan, before the monster, before Naoya Inoue, yeah. Ioka was this dude who was like this super prodigy, winning his first world title within his first 10 bouts and moving up in weight and facing the best fighters of his division. And he's the kind of guy that like hardcore boxing geeks are raving about. But most of us kind of thought that we would never see him in the U.S.
We got the Mad Rapper following us.
Oh yeah, he's back.
So behind the scenes for you folks.
Speaking of Japanese fighters, JP is here.
Ito with a big win last night.
Oh, right.
JP.
Upset. You bet on Masayuki.
Ito. So Viva Japan. Thank you, Ryan Scalia.
Viva Ryan Scalia.
Viva Ryan. He knew it. He knew it. But yeah, a little behind the scenes for you folks. This guy's been working on his hip hop here for the last hour. So yeah, so if you hear that in the background,
okay.
Yeah. So
it's just like this, like droning sort of.
Let's see if we can zoom in on the Mad Rapper. He's like behind the scenes there.
Masterpiece over there.
Yeah.
So Tom, there's a lot of people from the UK, a lot of boxing fans this week, and the US, who contacted me and said, "Ask Tom about Ioka. How did he make it happen?" Samir, do you want to grab the camera, or I'll grab the camera so we can?
Yeah, because
introduce the rest.
Ioka's been retired.
Samir's here also.
For 2 years.
Samir's here, live in the house. He's our
Samir the Samurai
producer in charge, and then Coach Dave. Coach, you're going incognito today. You got the blank shirt.
I was talking to my agent.
Yeah, you got to start charging for the sponsorships now.
I got to get paid more.
Yeah, okay. I understand that.
We're there negotiating right now.
We got to have Triple G start negotiating for you.
He's the king.
He drives a hard bargain.
He was good.
That was a good, but we got the fight done. And there's Leo. Leo, cameo appearance.
Got a haircut.
New haircut.
There you go.
Hey, Leo.
He's trying to get Samir.
So Coach and Dave, a lot of people were asking this week, Tom, how did you get Ioka? How did you pull this off? Because everyone thought he was retired, and you had a good story about it, right? There was a little bit about.
Well, he just saw the success of the Superfly series.
Yep.
And he wanted to come over here to the U.S. just like Inoue did.
Yeah.
Inoue had a great splash on the Superfly. It was Superfly 1 actually when Inoue came on, and brought a lot of Japanese media, a lot of Japanese fans, and Ioka looks to do the same thing.
And he's going to fight at
115.
115.
Officially moving up from 112 to 115. Tony Nietes is on that show. Also moving up from 112 to 115, fighting for the vacant WBO title against Palacte. That's a solid Filipino.
And the man, Estrada.
Filipino fight.
In the main event.
El Gallo. El Gallo is fighting El Gallito, right, Doug? Juan Francisco Estrada fighting Felipe Oroputa.
And the ticket prices are so low.
Dave, what do you think about the ticket prices?
Unbelievable. I think it's a great move.
Starting at $25 for the lower bowl in the Forum. Right?
No, 150 tops.
And 150 tops. That's the thing. Yes.
Yep. Really cheap.
Yeah.
And it's Estrada who's in the main event. Right?
Estrada will be the main event.
Although those are all three main events.
Yeah.
Ioka,
but I mean, for Los Angeles, you want the guy from Mexico.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Ioka Arroyo. Wow. What a fight.
That's a good fight.
Hats off to both fighters.
I'm wearing one of my favorite designs of Triple G merchandise, designed by Mike Styles at
good job, Mike.
shopggg.com. You can get these things. Awesome. We finally, Doug, all those UK fans that have been complaining about no merchandise or Jordan merchandise. We finally worked out a deal with Jordan where we'll be able to sell merchandise in the UK.
Good.
So stay tuned for that. All the fans in the UK will figure out.
UK fans do like to piss and moan, but they will actually buy stuff.
They'll support.
They will actually buy tickets. They will buy gear.
They buy tickets.
Yeah, they do actually spend their money.
Another sold-out show yesterday at the O2 with Eddie Hearn. That's what JP said. Eddie.
I take my losses though, Joseph Parker. I gotta admit, I took Parker. But I want to say something. I don't know if the DAZN is that how you say it?
Yes.
I don't know if this is going to be a success or not out here, but you couldn't ask for a better commercial for it yesterday. For boxing, it's not in the U.S. yet, but it's in Canada.
Yeah.
But to get some momentum going towards its release, Eddie had an incredible show. Chisora with a come-from-behind knockout victory over
Carlos
Takam.
Takam. Is that a fight of the year candidate?
It's up there. It was a war. I won't say fight of the year, but it was a good fight.
Good heavyweight scrap.
And then Parker, down on the cards against White, almost stops him in the final 20 seconds. Needed one more punch, but White takes it on a very close decision. And another good fight. So great card. Full of knockouts on the card.
Connor
Ben, Anthony Fowler, Katie Taylor got a knockout.
You said they put her in with an easier opponent this time.
Because they're building her up for the Serrano sister. Right. So incredible card from Hearn. And I know the UK fans are always critical of Eddie, but even they were excited yesterday.
They weren't happy about the pay-per-view.
It was pay-per-view.
That's what it was.
But it was a great
It seemed like it was a good action fight.
It was
a good action show.
Great action show. Lots of knockouts. Parker almost got there in the end. I was so close, but he really didn't fight a good fight. White fought a more controlled, pressure-filled fight. White deserved the win.
And leading into that, going back a week before, the reason why we weren't here last week was we were in Moscow for the big Usyk Garcia fight.
That one I got right.
And you got that one right.
You had that one right all along.
All along.
Cecilia Brækhus had a good win over there.
And Coach and I talked about it. She looked
Moscow.
much better this time.
Sharp. She looked really good.
She's sharp. She
we
fought
were
an undefeated Russian girl in Moscow. What a lot of champions won't do is go to other people's home countries and fight boxers from that country. So Cecilia had a good win.
The only two undisputed champions in
right.
the sport. They are true world champions. They fight everywhere.
That's right. And
they fight in other countries.
So Usyk, we're very close with both guys, and naturally Gassiev trains with Abel and with Triple G. But Usyk just put on, just a masterclass.
Masterpiece.
He's a gold medalist. He broke. I gotta say, Alexander Krasyuk from K2 Ukraine did a phenomenal job with Usyk, signing him from the Olympics.
Yeah.
He broke Evander Holyfield's record, winning a world title in only 10 fights.
In Poland against an undefeated Polish title holder.
That's right, in Poland,
yeah.
and then and now winning the suit. Now he's the undisputed champion.
But what else can you say about this guy Usyk? Won the title in Poland, beat Huck in Germany, went to Latvia and beat Briedis, went to Russia and beat Gassiev. Nobody does that.
Fought a U.S. Olympian, Michael Hunter, in Washington, D.C.
This guy's top 5 pound for pound.
And fighting a guy that nobody wanted to fight in Machuno. Remember when he fought here at the Forum?
And Machuno.
And nobody wanted to fight Machuno. And Usyk fought him.
It was a difficult style, and a lot of folks kind of jumped off his bandwagon after that performance.
I did.
Yeah, but you know what?
What do you think?
But he's gotten better though.
I love Usyk. Now I love him. But I wasn't that high on him.
He's spectacular.
I picked against him in that fight. But speaking of pay-per-views,
yes.
What do you think Mikey Garcia and Spence does on pay-per-view?
I know. Oh,
it's a good fight. Mikey Garcia, we got to give a shout out to him. Not only did he have a great performance last night against Robert Easter, but he did a great video. Did you see the video, Doug? With him
and Bailey's, or are you talking about?
No, where they brought the beef tacos in the gym, and he was going to go over there, and they gave him carrots and water.
Okay.
So somehow Canelo was claiming he's not eating beef anymore because he was training in Mexico, but then somehow, I don't know, it seems a lot of uncertainty what's going on over there. But you notice his facial hair is a lot less than it was last time. Last time he looked like James Harden fighting at Triple G. I think he was looking for the cushion. We actually had to file a complaint with the commission to get him to trim the beard.
Yeah, you see that more now.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? There's a lot of stories of what happened that first fight, but we're gonna request that the commission
guys want a clean cut
keep
Canelo,
it. Well, it should just be normal, just like he is right now. It shouldn't be like growing it for.
Does Mr. Bennett have to check with Golden Boy first before he give an answer?
He's going to be impartial on both sides, so he's got to enforce the rules of the commission. So when we request the rule to be enforced, I think it's a 1/4 inch is what the rule is for facial hair.
There are rules in certain, not every jurisdiction, but in some jurisdictions there are rules. Definitely in California and New York, the older commissions, they have that.
So Mikey Garcia, they're talking about Errol Spence. Usyk's talking about fighting Bellew in the UK and potentially even Anthony Joshua.
I'll say this, if Usyk Bellew is a pay-per-view in the UK, it does a lot higher numbers than Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence does in the US. I think the best that Garcia Spence Spence Garcia, however you want to say it. Probably be like 125,000 buys.
It's going to be a bomb.
Neither guys. I mean, like Mikey's is just now becoming an attraction, like a ticket seller, because he sold well in LA and he sold well in San Antonio, Texas earlier this year against Sergey Lipinets.
How did he do in New York?
I don't know. I mean, he was in the theater.
That's a great.
You know
fight.
what? It was when I saw him fight in the theater last against Orlando Salido. It was Triple G fans that were packed up in there for the co-feature. Triple G fought Gabriel Rosado, and then everyone left.
Yeah.
So Mikey or Salido, which was a great matchup on paper, was like the walkout bout.
Yeah.
I think Mikey's coming into his own now.
Definitely into his own.
That's a great matchup with Mikey, and if he does fight Errol Spence.
Yeah.
But do you think Errol will get the same criticism Triple G got when he fought
everybody will be real excited about it now.
Not by choice, but by two
Now, here's what everybody will
turning
say.
down the fight, and
here's
then
what everybody will say.
Up.
If it happens, because let's be honest, Mikey he's a brilliant boxer. He's a legit top 5 pound-for-pound player. Technically speaking, he's near perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Very good.
But
Especially
he is
with
that
power
guy
punch.
who dangles the carrot in front of the fight fans. He'll always dangle a big name out there, whether it's Miguel Cotto or Jorge Linares or whoever.
Right.
Now it's Errol Spence. But then when it comes to signing the dotted
Comes down to
line,
dollars and
he
cents,
fights
I
a
guess.
solid
Yeah.
dude, you know, but it's not like a super threat. Like Sergey Lipinets, Robert Easter Jr. on paper, these guys were big underdogs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he kind of has mastered that. But here's the thing about Mikey. I don't know what it is about his personality, but fight fans don't take him to task. Like, they don't hate on him. So, honestly,
probably because he's pretty low key.
Yes, yeah. So
You saw the mariachis playing in his locker room last night.
He comes off as kind of like the anti-establishment, anti-promoter guy, and a lot of boxing fans are that way. So they dig it. But the thing is people will pat him on the back for going up in weight. People won't rip Spence because he's also quiet, low-key.
Right.
And they feel that Spence is being avoided by the top welterweights, which he is.
Which
They'll say, but that was the truth for
Triple G.
Triple G
I got
and
into some
middleweight,
Twitter
but they still
interactions.
man, you
people
let your
that
hands
keep,
go. I like it.
People
I
keep
like what I'm saying.
criticizing.
Those
the whole
guys
thing.
are easy to counterpunch, though, aren't they?
Well,
they leave themselves
when you come
wide
out
open.
with the facts,
Yeah.
it's just.
But I think Garcia and Spence will get a pass from a lot of hardcore fans. But if I'm managing Mikey Garcia's career, I don't do that fight. I hang out.
That's a dumb
I
fight.
try to fight the
that
winner
fight.
of Lomachenko Beltran for all of the belts
that's
at
a much better-
135.
All day long.
Now, Aaron may not allow that to happen, and if that's the case, cool. Then go up and wait, go back to 140, and wait for the winner of the World Boxing Super Series tournament, and that's a huge fight.
I gotta take him.
Okay, I gotta go.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'll come get it for you tonight.
Okay, I'll have it.
Hey, before you leave, JP, just tell us real quickly about Christopher Diaz and Masayuki Ito. You bet on Ito, right?
Yeah. Ito was about he was like a 4 or 5 to 1 underdog at the beginning.
That much?
He was a big underdog.
And you got him at those odds?
Yeah, I wish I'd bet bigger, right? That's always in hindsight.
Sure.
But yeah. But about Errol and Mikey, shout out Johnny, who always from ESPN, who always goes to the Avalon fights.
Yeah. Johnny Wilds.
Yeah, Johnny Wilds. He said that it'd be about minus 300 Spence. So that sounds about right at 147,
Sure.
3 to 1 favorite. And another thing, Ioka and Royal. The more I think about this, and I'm not an odds maker, but that might be a pick 'em.
Yeah, I
That
don't
might
know
be a
who to
dead
favor.
even money
Very
fight.
good fight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a pick? Do you have a pick of the week coming up?
What do we got?
Next Saturday, nothing's really happening, right?
I think we had.
Bevo.
Oh, that's
in the
right.
Under.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Bevo in the under.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You think he stops
He will.
Chilemba?
He will.
Bevo, he's in
Nobody
shape.
stops for Chalemba, but Bevo will.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what- that
He'll
would
get a
be the
legit
pick.
stoppage.
He was
So-
good. Ali Akhmedov was sparring with
Yeah.
Bevo, and it was very good.
Yeah.
Very good sparring. Ali Akhmedov headlining the
Yes, I can't
Avalon
wait.
Oh, yeah.
at the Hollywood Fight Nights, August 8th.
Hey, so JB, before you leave, do you have a baseball pick?
A baseball pick. I got to call my pops. The Dodgers-
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have a woman's basketball pick?
I might. Actually, I heard you can bet on the Ice Cube Big 3 League.
Yeah.
So I'll have picks on that next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. So we'll see everyone next week. Hollywood Fight Nights on the 8th of August. We'll see you there.
And what's on September 8th?
Superfly.
Got it.
Superfly.
What's September 15th?
Everybody knows that.
It's another pay-per-view show.
Triple G Canelo.
The
Your
rematch.
time's ticking, Canelo.
The gloves are off. The gloves are off now.
He's running to go train with Gennady right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gloves are off.
Okay, so speaking of Mikey Garcia, how is he in shape?
Great performance.
I mean,
Lightweight's his
Great
prime
performance.
weight.
oh yeah,
Because
for
he's
sure.
got power
but I mean,
there
that
and
guy
he's
was as
faster.
good in the 12th round as the first round.
And the focus is just as steely.
yeah,
That's his real
no,
edge.
and his, you know, his balance, his distance.
Timing.
He's really smart.
He's got
And
all
I
the
don't
fundamentals.
I don't love him.
Yeah.
I don't love him at all.
I will say this: he doesn't cut the ring off as well as a Triple G. His jab is not as good.
But he's got that sneaky,
But
what
he's
is it?
sneaky, he's
Sneaky
crafty
power
with it.
punch. He's throwing that
Yes.
left hook to the right hand.
And he's accurate,
Very
but
fast,
that's
very fast
his
with that right
timing
hand,
because
yeah.
he's anticipating
And good
where
body
his opponent's
shots.
going
And
to
his
be.
Good body
defense,
shots,
too.
defense
Right.
is good.
Oh, yeah. He's a complete.
Yeah.
Very
boxer
composed.
fighter.
He's relaxed in there. Doesn't spend a lot of energy,
But he makes for.
very good.
But he's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like his last
He
two
was
fights,
entertaining,
I
yeah.
enjoy watching him.
Yep.
Good.
I
but
do.
you know,
was good.
I feel he's much better, more effective after the 2.5-year layoff.
Yes.
I think you know, he never was out of the gym,
Right.
ever.
So his,
Seems more aggressive also.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Who was the last one that made the successful transition from 135 to 147?
Shane Mosley.
Mosley, right there at Staples Center. Remember that was,
Shane and
first
Shane
fight.
did it.
Do you remember the days?
Shane did it in like 2 tune-ups because Shane went from lightweight all the way to he skipped 140, so he went from lightweight to welterweight. His first opponent was Rivera. Remember that guy from Puerto Rico? Real tough guy. Was it Wilfredo Rivera?
I thought he went straight to welterweight.
No, well, he did. He went straight to welterweight, but his first fight at welterweight was Wilfredo Rivera.
Okay.
Who fought?
And that was in
Palomino.
'99, yeah.
Right.
And also gave Pernell Whitaker a tough fight in their first bout. And then he fought Willie Wise at the Hard Rock. And in early 2000, knocked out Willie Wise in 3 rounds. And then he fought Oscar in the summer of 2000.
Whose decision?
And by the way, I was at the Hard Rock after Mosley fought Willie Wise. And here's a nod to all those Floyd Mayweather fans that get mad when people say he ducked everybody. Mayweather was waiting for Shane in the back rooms where they take the piss test, where the commissioners have him pee in a cup or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was calling out Shane, not in public, but to Shane's face, hey, fight me.
Yeah.
Fight me. Come back down. I'll meet you at lightweight, because Floyd was the junior lightweight champ at the time. So I witnessed all that. So Mayweather he wasn't afraid of Shane Mosley. And then I do think legitimately there were some fighters that he didn't want to share the ring with. But Mosley, at different points at least, during Mosley's career, Mosley's the guy that he wanted to fight.
And he didn't move up to 152 to fight. What's the Cuban's guy's name? What am I spacing on?
You were talking about Mayweather? I don't think he ever wanted to fight Joel Casamayor.
No, not him.
Dio Bayless Hurtado?
No, the 154 pounder.
Oh God, Lara?
Lara.
Yeah, of course
He
not.
didn't want to fight Lara.
I know.
But he fought Canelo.
Right.
So that kind of goes to the point about fighters moving up in weight to fight marketable fighters.
Yes. Right.
With some of my Twitter interactions.
Oh right, yeah.
So
So who do you think made the decision for Shane to go from 135 to 147, which is a brilliant idea?
That was Jack. Everybody was aiming for
I think
Oscar.
he was confident because he beat Oscar in the amateurs.
Yeah,
so that
in
goes
the
back to one of
amateurs,
those things.
and they were sparring with the same guys. If you remember, this is at a time where everybody was up in Big Bear.
Big Bear.
So they lived in Big Bear, and in their homes they had gyms. So it was Oscar, it was Shane, it was Fernando Vargas, and they all had like this. There was this like
trained in Big Bear also.
everybody went up to Big Bear, so they're all sparring with each other and talking. So you got sparring partners talking to Shane and Jack, saying, "Hey, you can beat him now. You can beat him."
He was confident.
He's not. Oscar's not training the way he was training 2 or 3 years ago. You got him. You got this.
Just like Vern Forrest was confident because he
Always
beat Shane.
confident. Yep, that he could beat
the
Shane.
amateurs, yeah.
And so were all the boxers, especially the boxers that were on that 1992 U.S. Olympic
Just a bad
squad,
style
or
matchup.
the
That's what
national
I would
team.
say with
Yes.
Garcia and Usyk. Usyk was just a bad style matchup
Worst style
for
for him.
Garcia. But Garcia was young. He's a big guy. He's gonna learn a lot more.
Time is on his side. He's not even 25, right?
He's 24.
24, yeah.
He's 24.
1993.
So look for a lot more great things from Murat Gassiev.
That's a
coming
baby
up
for 200 pounds and above. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and plus his punching power.
And he's still growing?
And he's
Still
still
growing.
learning.
Yeah.
He's still learning.
Oh, he learned a lot in that.
Yeah. The series was a great experience for him. It was so good for boxing.
Yeah, that was tremendous. Yeah, that was literally the best fighting the best right there.
Yes.
So, Tom, do you still have jet lag?
Jet lag? No, I got over the jet lag now.
Some people say
Your Moscow stream was the best. They liked
They liked it?
Yeah, that
Red
was
Square tour.
Red Square was, that's fantastic. I have to say, I've been to Moscow maybe 5 times now. Remember both Klitschko's fought in Moscow.
Yeah, well,
Vladimir,
didn't Vladimir fight Povetkin?
Vladimir fought
in Moscow?
Povetkin. Vitaly fought Manuel Char
That's
over
right.
there. So we were there a few times, press conferences and everything like that. And gotta say, Moscow has become a very tourist-friendly city. Most people in the hotels, the restaurants, they speak English now. You go around the Red Square, you feel comfortable. It's St. Basil's Cathedral. I was actually there. My first time in Moscow was 1993 with my original partner, Harlan Warner, where I started in the sports memorabilia business. And we did a deal, or Harlan did a deal with when the wall came down between Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev. So he had Ronald Reagan signing a bunch of autographs and baseballs and things like that, and then he had him countersign with Mikhail Gorbachev. So I flew with Harlan there, 1993, when it was a lot different back then.
it was different in
A
Russia.
lot different back then, yeah. They were still selling like all the military uniforms and the buttons and the pins, the medals, everything like that. So I met Mikhail Gorbachev in 1993.
So do they have a meat market in the Red Square?
The Red Square, no, but there's
The restaurant with the meat.
We saw. Oh no, that was nearby. Yeah, that was the steakhouse.
Oh yeah.
But back then, I saw Lenin's tomb. We walked in and saw Lenin there, and
amazing.
And yeah, the steakhouse. Did you see on the Periscope at the end? Was
very good, yeah.
I showed the Canelo special. I think it was a big tomahawk. So he must have eaten something like that to test positive for clenbuterol. So. But now, luckily, it sounds like he's in California, in San Diego, from all the reports that I hear. So hopefully, he's eating all the carrots and water, like Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, I was in Mexico last week. That's all I ate was steak.
You look a lot bigger.
So I know, dude.
Stronger.
See how this shirt
You were
fits me?
jumping rope faster.
Oh man, yeah.
I can tell the
it's
difference.
so good
I can
though.
tell.
It's so good, and the price is right.
Yeah.
It's
There
like,
you go.
From New York prices to Mexico.
oh
prices.
man, yeah. What a difference.
Crazy.
Food is
And it's
great.
the same almost.
Yeah, it is. Same quality. Yeah, it's amazing.
And what else do we miss any shows? So we got the Ito fight, we got the Staples Center fight, we had the O2 Arena fight, right?
Yeah, and
We had the Super Series tournament. Oh, Ryan Martin was there in Moscow with us.
Right.
He's for season 2 of the World Boxing Super Series, 140 pound. That's a
and
great
he was
division.
selected by Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor.
Who's
that's
either
right.
the #1 seed or the #2 seed.
He was number 2.
Okay,
Pro
behind
Gray.
Pro Gray. Yeah.
Pro Gray, who came to our Hollywood Fight Nights the last time. He was there. Yeah, Regis Pro Gray, and he's fighting, and then Josh Taylor's fighting Ryan Martin. It's going to be that's a very deep division, also 140
Do you have
pounds.
any idea where that fight's going to land?
No, not yet. I still have to talk to the guys, but we'll see. It'll either be over there in the UK or we'll see
It's a
about
tough draw.
making a bid over
It's
here.
a tough draw for young Ryan Martin.
Yeah.
But
He's
I'm sure
undefeated.
Abel,
He's tall, and
Yeah.
he's another guy that's getting better with every fight.
Yeah.
Training a big bear.
I'm sure Abel will come up with a good game plan for him.
And Inoue is at the 118 pound division.
Yeah, is he the
Super
number?
Series.
Who's the #1 seed in that? It's either Inoue or Zolani Tete, right?
I think it was Inoue. Not
The
sure.
people watching the stream
Not
probably
sure.
know.
They probably know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Inoue.
But,
Inoue's got more of a buzz than Tete, but Tete he's for real.
Yeah, that's a good division. Also,
Those are the
yeah.
#1 and 2 ring-ranked bantamweights right now.
Okay.
I believe it's Tete and
Who's the pound for pound Ring Magazine fighter?
Natty Golovkin.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Usyk is closing in on everybody.
Usyk, I gotta say, Usyk,
Usyk is #4 pound for pound with 15 pro fights.
Yeah, with
These
his
Ukrainians,
competition.
good grief.
Lomachenko
They don't waste no time.
has a lot of great wins, and
Yeah.
we love Loma. He's a tremendous fighter. But when you look at the competition, what Usyk has fought between Gassiev, between Vladarchuk, And Breedis, a lot of people underestimated Breedis, fighting Breedis in Latvia.
Yeah.
You know, so you stack up all those guys, and it's hard to argue that he's got the best competition, really, of all the guys around there right now.
Yeah.
We tried to do. I was complaining that when Triple G came up, HBO suggested a tournament. A lot of people were saying, well, you know, Triple G was in a soft division or whatever it was. And HBO, after the Proxa fight, who was a European champion.
Yeah.
HBO, Kerry Davis said, why don't we do a tournament, you know, with the champions. Triple G was WBA champion. Sergio Martinez was a WBC champion. I think Daniel Gil at the time was
maybe he had 2 belts. He
IBF champion.
IBF and WBA.
No, that was before. That was
and so it was Felix Sturm
right.
with the WBA.
Yeah, you're right. He did have. He beat Sturm. He jumped off of the Pirog fight to fight Sturm. That's
right.
when he won both
so
titles.
He had 2 belts.
But then, unfortunately, he vacated the WBA title. So it's kind of a consistent pattern. So Gil vacated the WBA title in order not to fight Triple G.
Yeah.
Similar to which Mexican fighter?
That would be Canelo.
And
got
the
rid of the
WBC
green
title.
belt. Yeah.
He vacated the WBC title. So it's only you can only fight guys that are willing to get in the ring with you at that particular time.
They were even WBA interim title holders, like Hassan Indom.
Yeah, he vacated his mandatory position.
He vacated
not to fight Triple G.
He was in line to fight Triple G.
Nobody wanted to fight Triple G at that time. Even Carl Froch, there was some interaction about.
Yeah, so that's
you know, the Carl Froch. Carl was a great fighter. He sold out Wembley Stadium at the time, 80,000 people, and that would have been a massive fight. And he seemed up for it for a while. Then I think he got his nose adjusted or fixed or whatever, and then
he started thinking about it.
But he posted a photo one time saying he was too big and too strong for Triple G. After he said Swerve Golovkin was played. But where were we going with that one there? Oh, with the tournament. So HBO was trying to do a middleweight tournament. And so it was Sergio was supposed to be in there, Gil was supposed to be in there. There was supposed to be one other fighter. I forget if it was Quillen or one of the other guys at the time. And then as soon as Triple G got in, everyone's like, no, we don't want to fight him first. And then it just fell apart because I don't think HBO at the time had the financing that the World Boxing Super Series was putting towards that series.
And Triple G has changed the pay scale for middleweights totally because
I remember
it used to be like if a middleweight could get $500,000 in a title
that
fight,
was a
they're
big
like
deal.
big deal.
I remember exactly the numbers because Gil jumped off of HBO against Pirog. That was a unification fight with a WBO
to fight
champion.
Sturm because it was more money.
And he got $600,000. I remember that. If we could find a Triple G opponent for $600,000, it'd be... with Triple G... Only imagine what we paid Danny Jacobs as the mandatory.
Well, everyone had to be overpaid to fight him.
Yeah.
I mean, even Dominic Wade made $500,000.
Wade a lot of money.
Didn't he make like $500,000? That's insane.
Matthew Macklin. We had to pay Matthew Macklin, and I love Matthew Macklin.
Oh, he's
great
the
guy.
best.
But we had to pay him the same amount of money as the champion in order to get in the ring with him. Because Lou was
everybody's
not happy
very
to put his guys in with Triple G.
Everybody's very shrewd when it comes to Golovkin. But I mean, now when you hear about middleweight title fights happening, it's like you're talking about in the millions, and it was not like that.
Now the whole even
outside of like Hagler fighting Ray Leonard, then it's incredible amounts of money. But aside from that, no.
But Triple G and Canelo now have changed the economics of the middleweight division.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Those are the two.
Change the economics.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Just like Floyd and Manny changed the economics of the welterweight division.
Well, of pay-per-view.
Of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, pay-per-view. How much pay-per-views cost in the U.S., which is a bad thing, and how much a bona fide attraction makes when they're in a pay-per-view fight.
But with all the struggles,
high expectations
with Triple G, and he's really the one. I think he's the one that really started the momentum about. He really wanted to unify all the titles.
Yeah.
But you can only unify if champions are going to fight you. You know, if guys are vacating titles, you can't unify. If guys are going out of their way not to fight you, you can't unify even with
and if you're
big
being stripped.
offers.
And there's too much juggling.
And if you have too many mandatories at the same time, IBF and WBC mandatory were issued at the same time while we were trying to make the Canelo fight.
Now, it's almost like I kind of get it. In the past, I used to get frustrated as a hardcore boxing fan when a fighter would unify most of the belts and then would just vacate all but one, like his favorite title. Like Hamed did that. He fought all the other belt holders, but he wouldn't hold on to the belts. Darius Miklashevsky, I think when he beat Virgil Hill, it was like for 3 major titles. I think it was the WBO, which Mikulaszewski had, and then the IBF and WBA, which Hill had unified with Henry Maska.
And then he kept the WBO title.
Yeah, and then he gets, and I used to get frustrated when they would do like, why don't you hold on to him? But I kind of get it now because all the obligations that come with it.
The mandatories definitely have a place. The mandatories are so people can't keep fighting weak opponents.
Yeah.
But when Triple G just fought the 2 best guys in his division, he fought Danny Jacobs, fought Canelo, and now you're getting handcuffed with more mandatories. It's just at that point, that's why Floyd, in his great run at welterweight, he never had the IBF. Well, he never had the IBF title either.
Well, no,
imagine Floyd Mayweather in a
held
purse
it for a second,
but
when he fought
against Judah, right? Yeah. Against Judah, but
Judah shouldn't have held it.
A second is the right term.
Yeah.
So you get some of these stars, and you get into purse bids, and then all of a sudden, you got TV deals. Imagine Anthony Joshua now, if he goes to a purse bid, and they lose the rights to the fight. Now he's got his Sky TV deal that he's obligated to do. Yeah. He's got DAZN that he's obligated to do, and then if someone else wins it and puts it on a different, puts it on Box Nation or BT Sport, now all of a sudden you throw everything out of whack.
Hey, so you didn't think that's true that Mikey Garcia only made $1 million for that fight last night?
I think that was the declared purse.
It seems like he would get more.
Seems like he would get more than that, especially on the Showtime main event. At Staples Center, there was a lot of people there, like 12,000 people.
Yeah, it's a good turnout.
So it was a good turnout.
It looked like a good
Quality
crowd,
fight,
a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So speaking of HBO,
almost as much energy as the Avalon shows in Hollywood, right?
Hey, and Avalon's going to be busy, right?
It'll be good.
The week after this week, on Wednesday, Hollywood Fight Nights.
August 8th.
On Friday, Golden Boy has an LA Fight Club from the Belasco Theater. And then on Saturday, there's Joseph Diaz Jr.'s return against Jesus Rojas. That's a quality,
Avalon.
at the Avalon. That's a
right.
Quality featherweight matchup, and that's Facebook Watch.
It's gonna be a lot of great LA fights that week for all the local LA fight fans.
Tom, what's next for Sergey Bohachuk?
Bohachuk was also in Moscow. Now he's 10-0 with 10 knockouts. Got a perfect record. He's gonna take some time off, and then looks like we're gonna do another Hollywood show in November. He'll come back. He'll come back on that.
He'll be the headliner, huh? Maybe.
At that point, he should be the headliner. Yeah, he should be the headliner on that show.
Pretty soon it's gonna be like the Hollywood, the Avalon shows. You're gonna be auctioning the tickets off.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's only like 500-600 people, so you're right on top of the ring.
You have to make a bid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It could go.
But the great thing for fight fans is if you get a ticket to that, you're like immersed in the boxing industry. Like apart from the boxers, the active fighters that are there,
Who's
they're
the most
retired.
famous guy that went to this place?
Come on, it's Chris Bird.
I was going to say Tom Loeffler.
Shannon Briggs.
No,
was there?
Bruce Trampler.
Bruce Trampler.
That was an amazing.
That was
Bruce
crazy.
Trampler was at the first. He was at the first.
A lot of
fight.
industry folks as well as actors and actresses.
Vanis
and
was
stuff.
there. My new
Vanis
hero.
Monroe. Yeah, before we made that fight, Vanis was there. Michael Buffer came to the last show. Mario Lopez came to the last show. Omar Miller from Ballers.
Oh yeah.
He came to the last show.
Yeah, but Bruce
Alicia
Trampler.
Davalle, Channel 4, NBC News. Yeah. She was there the last time. So, and Cynthia Conte, the great Cynthia Conte, is there.
She's a celebrity.
And even K9 Kim is there.
Yeah.
Is there announcing as your
You can get a
partner.
drink. You can get a drink with Kim if you buy it. You have to buy it. And just bring it over.
You can drink with
and
Kim if
he'll
you buy
tolerate you until he's done
as
with his
long as
drink,
he's
and then he'll be
done.
like, no small talk, man. Yeah.
And the fighters, they stay and they interact with the
They
fans
do.
afterwards. How often do you see that at these shows?
And they have so much. Who's the little woman from Lulu?
Lulu. She's going to be on the
She was the
Superfly
best.
show.
She has so much
gonna be at the
energy.
Forum.
She's the best.
She was dancing.
I liked her
She
form.
was dancing.
Oh,
It
standing
turns
upstairs
into- Avalon turns into a dance club after the fights. We clear out the
If I could just
chairs,
have
turn it into a
5%
dance
of
club.
that energy.
Dance with your favorite boxer.
Of Lulu?
Yeah. Oh my God. How do people like? I don't have it. I'm not wired like that. She's just.
I think
Just
it's
a
all
bundle of
adrenaline.
electricity. Yeah,
you know,
adrenaline. Yeah.
after the fight, before fight, and
Yeah.
plus
No,
you're
but
successful.
carried it
Before and during the fight
Yeah,
too.
even before the fight.
Oh,
she
yeah.
was
Yeah,
like-
she was smiling, you know.
She was doing
So let me
backflips.
ask you this: what about Danny Jacobs? What's happening with that fight?
He's going to fight
October or November. Sergey
Derevyanchenko,
Derevyanchenko.
and there's still no date for that fight. As much as I
But
know.
Derevyanchenko was ready to
IBF was
fight
putting
Triple
so
G
much-
on 1 week's
IBF was
notice.
putting so much pressure on us. Yeah, and Derevyanchenko said 3
He was
weeks
ready.
notice.
He was ready.
But
Right.
somehow Triple G was afraid of that fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, notwithstanding the economic situation, people don't put 1 and 1 together to equal 2.
No.
But there's still no date for that fight. So, they were going to go first bid, then they worked out a deal, but now they don't have a date. Now they don't, there's no venue, and so who knows? Who knows what's happening in that fight? But Triple G team has taken the position, unless he loses in the ring, he's still the IBF champion, because, if you don't lose in the ring, if he can beat Canelo, then Billy Joe Saunders is fighting Andrade. That's a fight coming up pretty soon.
Oh, that's
That's going to be that's
two
gonna be a
quality
decent fight.
boxers. Yeah. Quality matchup on paper. I don't think it plays out stylistically.
But Charlo would be a good.
Two southpaws doing this. Okay.
Charlo's a good opponent for Triple G. He's the WBC mandatory. That's a great fight.
Yeah.
So if he can get past Canelo, which he should, if he can beat him again, like he should, then
and maybe the ring title, the ring middleweight title, will be on the line.
Who does Bob Arum?
We'll have to
Because
appeal
he'll be
to
reinstated, right, or no?
Well, we have
By August?
Yeah, normally per our rules, the fighter has to become active again. He's got to fight, then he gets back in the rankings. But maybe we make an exception in this case, given the circumstances.
If he's licensed, if Nevada licenses him, then that would make sense to.
We got to make an appeal to the ratings panel.
We'll make the appeal from the Triple G side.
That's my opinion. I think
For some reason, BoxRec didn't. Even though he's suspended, BoxRec still has him active. I don't know what their policy is.
It seems that the rules, though, of the ring belts are a little flexible here. We got some.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well,
sort of
Doug straightened them up quite a bit over there with the rules, right? I mean, you got to follow the rules.
You got to follow the rules, yeah. But I mean, that's
even Nevada had to follow the rules, even though it was a multi-million-dollar fight.
Yeah.
Nevada had to follow the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was the right thing to do. And guess what? The fight's bigger.
You had to do it.
The fight's bigger September 15th than it was
now with all that controversy.
May 5th. No doubt about it.
A lot of people think Oscar and I conspired for that because of all the controversy. But
they're giving you guys too much credit.
You talk to Triple G. You talk to Triple G. You talk to Canelo. These guys don't like each other anymore. They're going to go at it. As much as we know that Triple G won the first fight, I think he's going to make an even more emphatic impression.
So who do you think that emotion helps more, Triple G or Canelo?
Well, Triple G never gets frustrated in the ring. Canelo was look. The only controversy with Canelo is he was saying what? Didn't he say Mexicans don't F around, right? And then he was saying
he said that in Spanish.
And then he said he's the only real Mexican there. And then he comes out fighting completely different than he ever fought in his career. And the Mexican fans actually booed him, whether they were booing his style or booing the decision. That was the first time I heard Canelo get booed.
Hey, if I was Canelo's advisor, and I'm not a Canelo lover, but if I was his advisor, he fights the same way. I mean, he should not fight Mexican style. He should fight just the way he fought last time.
I think he needs to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, but
he's
really wants to win.
He's predicting a knockout. How can you knock someone out when you're just
the
going
thing is, if
side to side?
Canelo boxes the exact same way, he can't complain if he doesn't win. If you want to win decisive rounds, you got to do a little bit more than he did. I thought he boxed brilliantly, really. I thought he looked really good, but he needed to do a little bit more. I thought, you know what, you need to fight a little more confidently than you're fighting. I was thinking that in the back of my head the entire fight.
You got to take some chances.
A little bit of risk. I'm not saying be stupid.
Especially as a challenger.
Exactly.
Canelo's a challenger trying to take the titles.
Yeah.
And
well, especially now. I mean, there's redemption on the line for Canelo if he can win this fight.
I don't think he cares.
I think he's going to be
confident.
I don't either. Look, Dave,
I
think he's going to be confident. He just won 12 rounds with Triple G. Only the second person to do that.
Yeah, I just think by virtue of the fact that he went 12 rounds with Triple G the first fight, and he's a younger man.
Do you know who
Bob Arum? Be a little more confident.
Do you know who Bob Arum is picking and why?
I think Bob Arum is not a Canelo fan.
Well, yeah, but he's saying that he's off the juice.
Well, that's what Bob's saying. Yeah,
it's going to totally ruin him. He's going to lack of confidence. He's going to fight scared. He's not going to know if he can.
What do you think, Doug?
He can't fight scared. He's already taken a hit. And the eyes of the Mexican
public.
Does
that affect you? If
he can't, listen,
can't eat beef
three strikes,
anymore?
3 strikes and you're out.
A little bit.
A little bit further back.
Three strikes and you're out. Listen, he took a hit when he vacated the WBC title.
Took a big hit. That was the only Mexican boxer in history to vacate a WBC title.
He took a hit with the first fight, even though I thought he fought well. It wasn't Mexican style, right? As you said. and it's not his fault of how Adelaide Bird's scorecard went. But
He-
they
he
blame.
sure-
but that's how
he
fans
sure-
are. They blame.
His style.
They
sure,
get mad at the fighter who it benefits. Generally speaking, that's what happens.
How about Don Trella?
And the fact, yeah. Well, I mean, see, he's sneaky. He doesn't. You don't hear people complain about Terrell as much as you do Bird, because Bird was just
If Don
blatant and
Trella
stupid
had
about
scored
it.
the 7th round for Triple G,
Right.
there'd be no controversy.
Oh no, Trella's sneaky.
There would have been no
Trella's
controversy.
sneaky. No, really, Bird was just kind of being Bird because she's had a lot of really bad scorecards. But another thing about the Mexican people, particularly boxing fans, they don't like divas, and Canelo has become a bona fide diva.
Do you think he really cares about all this?
No, he
Not
doesn't.
at
But
all.
he's also aware. He doesn't want to be booed.
Oh, I don't think he cares.
No, I think if he stinks it out, he knows he's going to be like the Mexican that Mexicans love to hate. He doesn't want to be that.
Oh, I don't think he cares. He's making so
He
much
cares.
money. He has so
There's
much
a lot of
money.
stuff he doesn't
Making
care
a lot
about.
of money.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
It
listen,
doesn't
there's
matter
a lot of
to
stuff
him.
he doesn't
He
care
just-
about, but I think he's still young enough, and he still has enough fighter's pride to where
See,
I think he's going to fight more aggressively than he did in the first fight. That's my
But,
pick.
he's saying he's going to knock out Triple G, so that's why I think the fans are really going to be in for a great night of entertainment, September 15th, because Triple G is going to be more aggressive. Canelo is predicting a knockout, so I think it's going to
Canelo's
be
back
a
is
great
against
fight.
the wall.
It's going to be a great fight.
I think his back is against the wall. His reputation's on the line.
is Triple G
he's
going
gonna
to
fight
throw
hard.
more body punches?
Well, that's what that's what Abel is going to. He's known for his body punching. I don't know why he didn't do it as much the first time, but I think don't be surprised if he throws more body shots. And we see Canelo, right? All of his training footage is all these body shots.
That'd be a smart move for him.
So we'll see.
Both guys need
But
to
if you go to the body, that means you leave yourself
Yes.
open.
You got to be real crafty about it, but Canelo is crafty. I think Canelo needs to jab more. His jab needs to be more consistent. I think he needs to go to the body when during the
Well, he
exchanges
definitely got
in the
out
center of the ring.
in the first
Yeah.
fight.
Don't go to the ropes as often.
That's I think
The
what
lateral
people
movement's
didn't like.
fine. The lateral movement's it's good.
Usyk
but,
got a lot of great lateral movement,
Yeah.
but he actually
But he
fought.
let his hands go.
That's the difference
Yeah.
between Usyk style and what Canelo fought. Is that
Yeah.
they're both great boxing styles,
Yeah.
but Canelo's style was much more defensive
Yeah.
than Usyk moved and then hit, and then Canelo was
Yeah.
moving and moving.
So I mean, I don't expect Canelo to look like Usyk, but I do think a little bit of a higher volume of punches, and he can do that just by making the jab more consistent.
Sure.
He's got a good jab when he uses it, you know. And for Golovkin, the jab is always the key to his victories.
So who do you think, changing the subject, who do you think Pacquiao should fight next?
Manny with a big win. He looked like he had some of those.
Lomachenko. That's a big fight.
Who?
Lomachenko.
That's a good fight.
I would fight, I talked about last week, Amir Khan. It's the no-brainer. That's the guy to fight.
I wouldn't count Khan out in that. Actually,
with-
it doesn't
with
matter.
actually,
Amir
Some
speed,
news about it.
if he were to fight in the U.S., I would say Adrian Broner.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he's not
'cause
going
Broner will
Manny looked
help promote
rejuvenated
it.
in that fight.
Yeah.
You
I think
see
it's a bit
where
of a mirage.
you see where Khan was at the fight last night? Amir Khan?
No.
Amir Khan was there last
Yeah,
night.
yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
he was
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
He looks totally different.
Yeah.
Wow, didn't he look
He,
like
that's
he's someone
that is
that's,
a good fight,
that
yeah.
has a big following.
He does.
He,
No, but
he
that-
has big social
moves in
media.
that
sells
fight
tickets.
in England?
Yeah. In England,
They make a huge amount of money.
Yeah, you're right.
He can't knock Pacquiao out.
Dave, you should be a promoter.
No, that's a no-brainer. That fight.
That's good.
That's
or a
good-
matchmaker.
That's and
I
that's
like
a
it.
fight that Manny would probably take.
Sure, why not?
You'd rather fight him than Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
no, he's got a good chance of beating Khan.
Yeah.
And no chance of getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And making more money than any
And
other
Amir
fight.
with his speed, could
Yes.
could
Yeah.
really,
He could.
come out,
but,
yeah.
but Lomachenko could knock him out. I think.
Could knock out Manny?
I think
I
so.
don't know.
I don't know about that.
No, I give him a much better chance of knocking him.
Crawford definitely knocks
Oh,
out
Crawford for sure.
Pacquiao. But yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, that's not bad. But if I could make any
Mikey
fight
Garcia,
for
Mikey Garcia and Pacquiao's a good fight too.
that's a dangerous
I
fight for
wouldn't take
Pacquiao.
that.
That's Juan Manuel Marquez all over again. That's
No,
like going
that-
back in time.
It's a good fight. It's a
That's
good
like getting
fight
young
for Mikey.
young JMM from the past. No, that's a knockout waiting to happen right
But
there.
at 147, that gives Pacquiao the
So
weight
what's the
advantage.
status?
Style wise, he's going to be there for
What's the
those punches from
status
Manny.
of top rank in Manny right now?
Good question.
Hey, Manny Pacquiao sent out a tweet saying,
Wait, didn't he say
You want to make a fight, you go through me.
Yeah, he did.
Don't
yeah,
you talk to
so-
anybody else. You talk to me.
So that, yeah.
I represent myself.
What about his heart condition? Is it such a thing? I don't know. He sort of.
How's it
What
like?
about Evander Holyfield's heart
Are we
condition?
better in
How
the
long did
sun,
we hear
or is
about
this
that?
okay like
No,
this?
this okay.
It's
Yeah.
okay?
As long as I'm in the shade, so I'm trying to like.
So I
go
wanted to
a little
ask you
forward.
this, Doug. You know that guy that does the podcast that used to be on HBO?
Yes.
What's his
Evan Rakowski.
name? Right, yeah. Evan
Oh yeah,
Rakowski.
I like
He's
it.
excellent.
Yeah.
Fistianados.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But I haven't seen it the last couple of weeks.
Oh.
That's
No,
an
he just
incredible-
posted it.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
still
he did it
posting.
today?
Yeah.
No, on July 19th was his last one.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
somehow.
I'm gonna have him write on ringtv.com and for the
You
magazine.
know, that's a great podcast.
Because I think he's educational, and I think a lot of fans they're curious. They're either interested in this sort of new streaming revolution, or they're really put off by it, or they're perplexed, or they're bewildered by it. There's a lot of anxiety.
Let me
like,
ask you this.
Why is everyone doing this?
He's
and,
good.
and he's really good at explaining.
He's got all the numbers
economical
down.
reasons. Oh,
Yeah.
he's a numbers
So-
guy.
He might
He's
know
real
about
smart.
ESPN Plus. That's sort
Yes,
of
he does.
interesting. So
Yeah, I'm having him write about, I think, ESPN Plus and this Facebook thing.
yeah,
And
The
just kind of the
Facebook's
reasoning
interesting, too.
behind it, why it's good, you know.
But they have to make it a little more fan friendly.
Yes.
To get onto ESPN Plus, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
I'm getting, the more you mess with it, though, the more you learn. I'm getting better with
Yeah.
it. Like a month ago, I didn't know how to have this
And
stuff
I'm
on my
Do
TV.
you watch it on your phone or you put it on the TV?
I watch both,
Both,
Okay.
yeah,
if something's on TV already, like the Showtime in the ESPN
Oh, so you
cards
watch both of them.
conflicted,
Okay.
then
It's
I'll,
pretty
I'll,
good.
I'll,
It's
I'll
pretty
put,
good on the phone. though.
Yeah, I'll get ESPN on the phone.
So
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think is the easiest website to go through, and the one you can get the most information out of, the quickest, and
For boxing website?
yeah, boxing website?
360promotions.us.
I mean, if you want
That's
to
where you
go
get the streams.
like go into the website to see what's
That's where you get
going
the tickets
on.
for the Avalon
See
Avalon
what's
shows.
going on.
360
So I'll answer that
promotions.us.
question. I'll answer the question for you. Ringside Boxing Show.
Oh, that's right. That's
It is-
what you
I
mentioned.
mean, I don't know if anyone's tried it. If you just go to it
Mention
and
it.
go to today's news, it's incredible. Dennis Taylor does an really good job. You get articles you wouldn't get normally, and the way that he highlights them, it's really good, really good. So anyway,
Are we good?
yeah, that's been about an hour.
good, yeah,
How long
we're-
is it?
46
We
minutes,
covered
47.
How long?
47 minutes.
Yeah.
Any questions on there, Samir, that we were...
Let's see.
Samir was like, "That's garbage."
Yeah, you gotta edit. You gotta edit.
There's a lot of
This
comments.
guy's
You gotta edit.
repetitive.
A lot of
Yeah,
comments,
yeah,
but
Not
not
questions,
not
just statements. Hey, your Twitter game, Tom.
I
like
don't
it.
know why
I
I jumped
like
into
the
it.
age.
It's a
I
no-win
know.
situation. These guys have
It's
so
a
much
sinkhole.
more time than I do on Twitter. What people don't understand. Look, some people think I don't like. Andre Ward's a great fighter. I don't really care for his style, but he's a great fighter in the ring. Outside the ring, great guy. Inside the ring is not really my
Is
style.
he smart?
But very intelligent. I think he's a tremendous commentator. Dave, you like Ward?
I like
as
the
far
way
as
he
this
fights also. I love the way he fights.
But the talk, the whole
The
that's
whole
just
thing,
that's just
the
his
thing
that's
that-
just to
that-
stroke his
that-
ego or just
well,
to soothe the pride of certain
The
fans.
whole thing about Triple G ducked Ward, I just don't get that concept. You know, it's like,
You know what I say to people, Tom? Show me the timeline.
well, the time,
And show me
timeline
the
is
articles.
clear.
Show me because we all know how big fights are negotiated these days.
Right.
You got a name against a name, and people are talking. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a lengthy negotiation period, and the media is in on it, and the fans are in on it.
As hard as
And
we
if
worked
people
out-
are talking, if people are really negotiating a fight,
Right.
whether it works or it doesn't work out, or they put it off for a while, you know about it. There's stories written about it.
Right.
So I just ask people, show me the evidence where Rock Nation and Mr. Loeffler over here were talking
Well,
seriously in
They
negotiations.
sent an offer, but that
Yeah.
would be like me.
But
sending,
that's
that'd be
not
like-
negotiation.
That'd be like me sending an offer to Floyd
I could do
to
that.
fight Triple G.
I could
and
send
then Floyd
anybody an
says
email.
no,
Hey, man, how about
Floyd
this?
says no, and then we say, oh, Floyd ducked Triple G.
right,
It doesn't
exactly.
work that way.
It don't work that way.
We worked so hard. We had the first unification fight. I was telling you how hard it was to get champions in the ring. So David Lemieux stepped up. Got to give props to David Lemieux. He
Yep.
was the first champion to fight Triple G
Yep.
in the ring. Then we were guaranteed the winner of Cotto and Canelo.
Yeah.
So when you're in that position, you can't be talking about, when we were talking about fighting Chavez and Froch at 168, that was before.
Yeah.
And those are two huge fights.
Yeah.
And look, Andre is a great, very effective in the ring, but he just hasn't become that marketable fighter. That was the point I was
And
making.
at that time, we're talking about 2015.
Right.
Andre Ward had been gone. Did people just forget about that? He had been gone, and he came back and fought like
Fought on
the
BET.
least talented
Fought
Smith brother.
Yeah.
And nobody watched it.
172.
And he didn't make 168 and never fought at 168 again.
Never went back. Well, he moved to 175. You could see it.
Yeah.
He had to move up. He was getting big, and then he was very effective against Kovalev. I
Right.
personally think Kovalev should have won the first fight, but there's no question that Ward, in the second fight, he had Kovalev's number, and
But
really,
it was
really
clear
went
the path that Ward was taking.
right. But
You
it
don't-
was very
he
effective
still
to use
had-
Triple G's name
I
to say
know.
he ducked me, and then a lot of the followers actually bought into
But
that.
they can't back it up, though. That's my problem with them. And then they
So
just keep
that was-
repeating
that was the
themselves.
Twitter-
Then they get
that was
mad.
the Twitter interaction
Hey,
the
then they
last-
get mad
last
when you
couple
block
days.
or mute them. I don't even block them. I don't block nobody because they wear that as a badge of honor.
Hashtag
I
Oh, yeah.
mute them. I'm like, you get to keep following me and reading my stuff, and I can't hear you because you're not worthy of being listened to.
Maybe I'll have to start muting people.
Oh, mute them. Oh. And tell him,
Like
dude,
said,
I
they
can't
got-
hear
they
you
got
no
a
more.
lot more time on their hands
Can't
than,
hear
than
you,
I
fool.
did I'll respond once or twice, but after that, it's just like, you guys can.
I could
you're not
totally
gonna convince
disagree
them
with
anyway.
somebody, but if you gotta be intelligent.
Right.
You got to make some points. You can't just be stupid
Right.
and boring and rude. Like,
And
no, dude.
with all the
Silence.
hard work, with all the promotion, now Triple G, a kid from Kazakhstan, is in the biggest fight in the sport of boxing,
Yep.
September 15th. So
I think you guys made
so
the right
finally,
choices.
finally got to where he was looking to go, and it would have been nice to have unified all the titles. But
Sure.
we'll fight Canelo, and then we'll see what happens. Look, the winner of Deverenchenko and Jacobs, that'll be a more marketable opponent. Look, Danny Jacobs, his highlight of his career was a sold-out MSG against Triple G.
Yeah.
And I love Danny. Danny's got a great story, great
Yeah.
person outside the ring. It just, his stock's gone down fighting
Yeah.
Arias and then fighting Zaleski, two guys he should have really knocked out.
Yeah.
On HBO, and he didn't. So we'll
No.
see how that fight goes. Billy Joe Saunders, if he beats Andrade, he's more marketable.
I don't know. The division's hotter now, and people at least talk like they want to fight a little bit.
Now it seems like since he's gone the distance twice.
That's how it is
That's
with
fair
dominant
enough.
middleweight champions. Sometimes they got to get old before people,
Isn't that,
find
wasn't
their
that
pin. That's how it was with Hopkins.
With Hagler also.
That's how it was with Hagler. Absolutely.
Marvin Hagler couldn't pay them to get in the ring with him
No,
at that
no.
particular
They got to look human. Hagler had to go 15 rounds with Duran.
Yeah.
And then And even then, they still waited a little bit. Like, give it another year. And then he started getting those
Yeah.
mega fights, man.
And if he beats or retains his titles against Canelo, he'll have broken the great Bernard Hopkins
That's a
record.
big deal.
So
To me, that's the reason he's
So
pound for pound
aren't
number
the same
one. Is his
people that were
longevity.
criticizing Triple G for not moving up, did they have the criticism for Bernard Hopkins for making 20 middleweight title defenses? And against
They probably hated him.
twice or three,
They probably
or three times?
the same fans
But
if they were
forcing
around.
him to move up or
Yeah, they probably were the same fans that hated Hopkins just because they were nut hugging on Roy Jones Jr. That's just how it is. Like I said, I sent out a tweet. I said the same fans that are ripping Golovkin for supposedly asking Ward to come down to a catch weight, 164, are the same fans that'll give Ward a pass for having the reigning light heavyweight champ Chad Dawson come all the way down to 168. They
Not
don't
only
give him
that,
for
those
that.
fans conveniently forget Ward put out there that he would fight Floyd at 160 pounds.
Right.
If you remember that.
Right.
So it's
But
a
here's
lot
the
of
thing,
it's
you
a lot
shouldn't
of
even, that's just talk.
semantics.
That was just
You
that
guys
was
say
just,
the word.
you shouldn't.
You
No, we
guys
don't.
say it, but
It just that fight didn't make sense. When
But
they
there's-
made
but
the
there's-
offer,
but there's
it
double
didn't make
standards,
sense.
man. And I saw the same thing when Rigo went up in weight and lost to Lomachenko. They're like, well, that fight that doesn't count. We're not going to give Lomachenko credit for it. I'm like, do you not give Floyd Mayweather credit for beating Juan Manuel Marquez? Because he went all the way up from lightweight to welterweight.
That's right.
Is Lomachenko
And he had
working
never fought at those weights in between. Do you not give Terrence Crawford credit for beating the Cuban guy, Yuriorkis Gamboa?
Right.
It's some-
Same Same stuff, yeah.
You got to hold everyone to the same criteria.
The only thing with Rigo, he's a little bit older, but we saw with Luis Ortiz. True. Oh, Luis Ortiz had another. He was in the ring last night. He had a knockout win.
Yeah.
Against.
He'll always knock out that caliber. But you know what? I'd love to see Luis Ortiz against Dillian White.
But when Kell Brook moved up 2 divisions, he was in his prime. He was at that time considered the best welterweight. That was before that old Spence fight.
You had an uproar.
And everyone, it's just there's a Triple G standard, and then there's it just
that's garbage.
We couldn't even get look at Munguia now. Munguia had 2 great wins, and we couldn't but somehow he wasn't approvable.
Since Triple G just retweeted the stream, I'm gonna ask a question from No Sparing. Is it realistic to say that Triple G fights in December like he wants?
What's up, Nick?
Is that Nick?
That is. Yeah, it's Nick Scope. He's our Japanese correspondent.
Oh, okay.
Dave, you met him.
He also asked about Murata in Tokyo.
That would against who is a different story, but definitely now there is a fight. That's one that I totally missed off the screen. A Murata fight in Japan. It's a huge fight.
Murata's the biggest star in Japan.
Biggest star in Japan. His TV ratings are massive over there, and if Triple G goes there, fights in Japan, that's a huge fight. We have a great relationship with Mr. Honda, naturally with Bob Arum and Top Rank. That's definitely a makeable fight.
More importantly, Tom, it's an excuse for Doug Fisher to get on a plane and
to go
travel.
For us all to go to Tokyo.
Really,
sharpen up our sushi game.
Yes, that's really what it's all about. It's just
so
me getting my passport stamped.
Charlo's a big fight.
Having a good time.
Charlo's a big fight. Yes. Murata's a big fight. The middleweight division is deep right now. So
and it's good that these Chanko, but his management putting him into this position. He had a lottery ticket if they were just patient to fight Triple G, right? And really, he's not worthy of being a mandatory challenger. So when I keep that in mind, it's like, you know what, a vacant belt.
Did you?
Well, they're the only folks that would put him #1 off of beating Toriano Johnson,
who was out for
who had been out for a year and had fought nobody coming back. But whatever. So, but here's the thing: he is a solid middleweight, as is Danny Jacobs, as you guys know.
We could have put Deverenchenko on the Canelo Triple G show, the biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
Then he could have fought the winner of Canelo and Triple G.
See, that would have given him exposure. That's the one thing he really lacks, is exposure. People, even boxing insiders, don't know about him. And
see, if he wins now, he would be the IBF champion without having to fight Triple G, which is, that's probably what they were thinking on their side.
Well, I mean, that's what he's worthy of, is fighting for a vacant IBF belt. But the situation sucks because style-wise, I think Jacobs is very difficult for Derevianchenko. And Derevianchenko's head trainer is going to be in Jacobs' corner. Right? So you're at a disadvantage right there. I don't care what anyone says. But that's fine. But, Derevianchenko hasn't complained about it. He is being paid well for this. So good for them. The bottom line is we do have top 10 middleweights fighting each other with Saunders and Andrade and with Derevianchenko and Jacobs. And that's what we need. These guys got to fight. They can't just, go to middleweight and then just say, hey, I'm ready to fight Golovkin. It doesn't work that way. Even the great Roberto Duran, he was already a legend. He had to beat Carlos Palomino, before he fought
here's what a lot of
Sugar Ray Leonard.
You know the history of these divisions, mandatories. Sometimes mandatories, when Triple G was mandatory for Stern, it was over 2 years, and he never got the shot. And Derevianchenko just won the title in August. And then they're forcing the hand of the IBF.
No, they act like he's Sonny Liston, in the late 50s,
cleaning
out the whole division and still not getting a shot at Floyd Patterson.
Against a unified champion who you're supposed to get more time for.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You think those guys, Deverenchenko and Danny Jacobs, you think they're going to do the second-day weigh-in for the IBF title?
That's a good question.
I think
there's no excuse
not
to.
Bella said that they will do that on Twitter.
Well, they have to, but the question is, why didn't Danny Jacobs do it against Triple G? That's a good question. A lot of people think.
Because he knew that
a lot of people on Twitter
because he knew that Triple G would.
And he knows it, and he was very smart.
Well, he was smart, but a lot of people were saying, well, he never signed for the IBF title. And look, he had signed for the IBF title. At the rules meeting, they were fighting for the IBF title. The IBF supervisor, Lindsey Tucker, was waiting for Danny Jacobs to show up there, and then we get a call that he's still sleeping. So
this was the good old
cost-benefit
analysis.
Is what that meant. Is that we're way over 170 pounds. Yeah. He's eating breakfast right now while Triple G has to make the 170 pounds, and that's just that goes to an unlevel playing field. A lot of people say, "Oh, Danny Jacobs won 12 rounds." Again, I love Danny Jacobs, but you got to take everything into context about maybe he was a lot more durable. Being,
Well, let me ask you.
He had a great camp for that. The best camp
trained
of his
with
career.
Chris Algieri, one of your favorite
Yes, he
boxers,
had the
right?
benefit of the earliest weigh-in in my memory. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 a.m. on Friday.
So he had all day Friday
didn't
and
have to-
all day Saturday to rehydrate.
And it was New York time Saturday, so it was
Yeah.
12 o'clock at night.
Hey, let
when
me
he
ask
went
you
in the
this,
ring.
Tom.
Yeah.
If you were Jacob's advisor,
Yeah.
would you have him do the second day weigh-in, or would you do just what he did?
No, what he did, but what they should have done is said ahead of time, we're not going to do it, instead of going through the whole rigmarole, because then we could have appealed. So that's become the Danny Jacobs rule now. The IBF realizes it's an unfair, it's a disadvantage for their champions that have to follow the rules. If Triple G, right, Samir, if Triple G didn't do the second day weigh-in, he wouldn't have the IBF title right now.
Yeah, but
He'd be stripped.
it was a shrewd move.
To try to win the fight, yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
I mean, if he had a...
But if we had known he wasn't going to do the second day weigh-in, we would have never agreed to a 9 o'clock in the morning. We did that at the request of the New York Commission. They requested 9 o'clock in the morning, which never happened. Normally it's 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 1 or 2 meals that you can.
But that was shrewd too.
Well, that was us agreeing to the New York Commission. They didn't plan the weigh-in, but again, it's. Look,
I can't put him down for that.
What Dave is saying
but it was
is
a perfect
that
storm
Jacobs
for
is
Danny.
sneaky.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's sneaky?
No, I think he's smart.
I'm saying he's smart. Smart. And
No,
sneaky.
that was a smart move. I mean,
You could have easily said we don't care about the IBF title. We're going to throw it in the trash can.
yeah, that's okay.
Here's the ironic. They threw the IBF title, basically the chance of fighting the IBF title last year in the trash can, and now he's fighting for the IBF title.
Oh, the irony.
Instead of the Triple G, who's been their best IBF middleweight champion
Vacated title.
in a long time. But that's
That's
how
on
it
them.
goes.
But
It's a
what
year
would
later.
Sugar
and
Ray Robinson have done? He would have done exactly.
They didn't have
what-
those rules back then.
I know, but whatever the rule was,
No,
he would
here's
bend it.
Robinson. Robinson would say he would agree to a certain percentage, and then the week of the fight, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna need a bigger percentage, or I'm not fighting.
Okay.
And they say, okay, Ray, you're the man. And then the night before, he'd call up the promoter and be
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm gonna need more. You're gonna have to give me 5 more percent.
and
Or I'm
he-
not fighting, dude.
And he got it.
Yeah,
right?
and then they're like, okay, Ray, okay. And then the morning of the fight, it's like, it's Ray. Like, I'm not taking that call. I'm not taking that call. Like, okay, telegram from Sugar Ray Robinson, a singing telegram. I need more money, and then, or no fight, and then that's what Ray did.
Okay.
But Ray,
Did that really happen?
oh, he did that all. He was
Yeah.
notorious, but that was after like 15 years as a pro
So he
with
was just-
170
But
fights
he
under his
drew a lot
belt.
of.
Yeah, I mean,
he generated a lot of.
and he was and everyone knew who he was. Everyone knew who
And
Sugar
then how
Ray
about
was.
Sugar Ray Leonard? I mean, he was a tough.
Everyone knew who
I
he
mean, the
was.
same deal. Not
It's one thing to negotiate, and I have no problem. People say, okay, the guys shouldn't be allowed to balloon up in weight. I mean, that's one thing. As long as the guys weighing at the same time, and then they have the same amount of time to put on the weight.
Yeah.
one
And
guy's
Ray's
bigger.
Sugar
whatever it
Ray's
is.
stuff was negotiated before the fight.
Right,
you know?
exactly. But it was tough.
It's gonna be
It was
whatever.
very tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be these gloves. It's gonna be this
It was-
many
it was
rounds.
literally
It's gonna be this size
a
ring. all
different
that.
rule
Yeah.
for Triple G than for Danny Jacobs, and that was the unfair part of it. And that's why, frankly, that's why the IBF changed the rule. After that
Right.
fight, they changed the rule. It was the same thing. Remember,
Right thing to do.
David Lemieux and Curtis Stevens, and David Lemieux didn't do the second day weigh-in. He flattened Curtis Stevens in that fight.
Yeah.
I think that's where they got the idea, because that was 1 week earlier.
Yeah.
And that's how they got the idea of that.
Hey, it's all good. Anyway,
But the IBF rewarded them.
It's a hard
The
sport,
IBF
and it's a
rewarded
tough
them
business.
by having now
tough
shot at
hey,
the
it's
IBF
just,
title.
it's just business.
Yeah.
That's how business goes. But let me
Nah,
tell you
but
about
how
drive-
amazing is Loeffler though. Calm Loeffler.
Yeah, no, calm Loeffler.
Calm, cool,
He
collected
wouldn't
with all
do
this
that.
craziness, man.
Triple C?
Triple
Calm,
C,
cool.
calm, cool, collected. Triple G and Triple C, man.
Hey,
I
so
don't know how
listen
you
to
do
my
it. That'd be
driving
insane.
experience this week. I'm in an Uber. The
Insane.
guy's on the freeway, and he's looking at his GPS,
Wow.
and he's ready to run into the back of a truck, and I had to scream.
The Uber driver?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
They
You know,
put it
because
on
he
the
has to
lap,
pick
too.
someone up, and he's looking at it, and
he gets
almost
a
hit the back of a
notification.
truck
Yeah,
on
that's
the
not
freeway, and I'm screaming at the guy.
Did you rate him? Did
Wow.
you like, rate
I
him like
gave
a
him
rating?
I usually rate those. If the driver is bad, I'm
Yeah.
giving them 2 stars right away.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is
Dangerous. It can be dangerous. You have no
really
control.
dangerous.
over it.
So, I still, that phone rings and you want to pick it up or look. You can't do it.
No.
You cannot do it. Look at that driver, the one that Tom sent out. I think the guy
Yeah.
in the truck.
He was like changing his music or something like
changing
that.
his
He
music
just-
on
the
the
I mean,
truck
just
driver
takes-
just ran into the whole line
Parked
of cars.
Yeah, killed kids.
terrible.
Anyway, it's great seeing you, Tom, Samir,
Good day.
Yeah.
Dougie.
Drive like you just won the lottery, right?
Wow,
Right, man. That's the
exactly.
only way
It's
to
so
be.
important.
And let them inside. When I go to Hollywood and
Yeah.
it's all crowded and I let someone in, they're like all happy to make their day, and
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
and
good
everyone's
feeling.
in a good mood.
Do you want to know
You know?
about the $8 parking at the Palace?
Oh yeah,
I'm not telling you.
don't give that away,
I'm not
otherwise that
giving
lot
it
will be
to
full.
Yeah.
But there
Anyway.
is a metro station right at the W Hotel, right around the corner,
Right there.
and then you can walk to the Avalon. So that means you can have the Tecate, you can have the Chivas, our
Yeah.
two main sponsors.
Take the
and then
take the
metro,
train or
take the metro,
right or
or
Uber
take
or
Uber
Lyft.
home.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's how you do clubs
It's going to
these
be,
days.
you got a lot going on, Tom.
yeah.
Wow.
Alvina White's gonna be back on there.
She
Ali
sells some
Akhmedov.
tickets, huh?
She sells a lot of tickets. Ali Akhmedov
Get to
is
see
gonna
him
be
live
there.
for the first time, and he is this guy's from Kazakhstan. He's a light heavyweight prospect, 12-0.
12-0. He
my
trains with Abel Sanchez.
Is he from your city, Samir?
Almaty, yeah.
He's hard, man. He looks
uh,
primal, man.
I'm scared of him.
Something about his like
I'm
his,
scared of him,
his
man.
bone
No,
structure,
I
his
know.
facial hair. I'm like, you're like from back in time.
Like a panther, sort of.
Yeah.
No,
You
he's a
can
scared
survive a Triple G training regimen
Yeah.
up there. Then, you know, and then Abraham Lopez, trained by Freddie Roach.
Oh,
he's gonna
excellent.
he's gonna be there. Marco Deckman, who's another Freddie Roach trained fighter, a
good.
guy from Germany,
Yeah.
supposedly one of the best looking boxers around. He's got a lot of female fans.
What?
He's gonna make his pro debut.
No way.
There, so
Triple G is the best.
two
Young
fighters,
David Hasselhoff of
two
boxing.
fighters from Wildcard is going to be there. And Freddie's going to be in the house. Abel Sanchez is going to be in the house. That's what you're talking about, industry. But a lot of these smaller shows, you don't see these type
Yeah.
of. You know, Michael Buffer's supposed to come back again. So,
How about Bruce Buffer?
Bruce Buffer is supposed to be there? Yeah, we talked to Bruce. He
He's
said
the
depending
best.
on his schedule, but he's looking
He's a
forward to.
prince.
He's looking forward to coming.
prince.
So we're going to see a lot of celebrities.
So I heard that
coming
Freddie
out there.
Roach is feeling a lot better these
Yeah.
days.
They were saying that on
That's
that
good.
HBO broadcast.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, less is more.
No, I mean the stress, the man
Right.
stress.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that drama's over. Yeah, sure.
He's gonna do the I think the Under the Light special for HBO, talking about Triple G and Canelo.
Do you know when that's going to air on
It's gonna
HBO?
air. Good that you asked, Doug.
Well, I'm
September 8th after Superfly is gonna come on the HBO special. It's gonna be Under the Lights, or it's gonna be with Jim Lampley's fight game special, something like that. But that's
Hey, I
gonna
think
be.
at least online they should release that face-to-face that you guys shot
We're
before the
working on
first
that.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pushing.
Or just like some
That'd be cool.
outtakes. right?
Pushing that. Then Triple G just did his 24/7 last week.
Good.
I think Canelo's doing it this week.
Okay.
So we'll have the HBO crew bring a lot of carrots down there for him.
Hey, August is going to zip by.
Yeah, it'll be
It's so much going on.
I
It's
can't
just
believe
gonna
the
be
fight is so
incredible.
close. Triple G Canelo,
Yeah.
September 15th.
gonna-
Pretty much
it's-
next
now it's
month.
like-
Just
now
like,
it's like, 6
finally.
weeks
Fast
away,
forward, yeah. We're putting the magazine to bed this weekend, as a matter. As soon as I get home, I got to proofread. That's why I was up all night proofreading the magazine.
It's gonna be the cover issue.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
come we
It's a
didn't get the
Richard
cover?
Sloan painting
How come we didn't get the cover issue for the May 5?
for the May 5.
May 5 edition.
You got to ask Canelo. Yeah.
Because that was slated.
We
for
were
the cover
so
issue
lucky,
also,
Tom.
right?
We were so lucky. We were able to put Lomachenko and Linares on there. It
How
was
many
like
days did you have? Was it like
less than a week
less than
to
a
do
week?
like
See?
to replace 20 pages. But and here's the crazy thing: we're thinking, well, if they reschedule the fight in September, we can use all this old material. But
There's so much stuff happening.
The entire complexion of the fight has changed. It's a
Yeah.
grudge match.
Yeah.
So like basically, we were able to salvage just two
all
of
new.
the original articles that we were planning for the May 5 issue for the
whole
September
different
15th.
fight.
You know, I think
But
this
that's
whole
great.
thing, the whole drama was planned out.
That's what
You're giving them
I-
way
that's
too
what
much
I-
credit,
I'm
man.
positive.
If they planned this,
You
man, they're
couldn't buy that
geniuses.
controversy, right?
No, it's great.
I mean, Hollywood
Yeah, the best
studio
writers in the
moguls should
world.
take notes from him, man.
Speaking of studio moguls,
Yeah.
you know who Leslie Moonfest is?
Yeah. Like,
heard
he's
he's
the
caught up- he's
ABC
caught up in
guy.
that.
No, but it's all
Controversy
it's really a farce.
Is it?
They said he kissed some lady 20 Viacom.
Oh, that's right, CBS,
So they put
Viacom.
that in there. It's pretty. Wow. So I don't know if that does this. He's Showtime Boxing too.
Yeah, they're under
So
the Viacom.
also, I was going
umbrella.
to say, you know, AT&T now owns HBO.
That's right.
So-
that merger went through.
Yeah, there might be some changes
Yeah,
there.
so we'll see.
Oh,
Hopefully
definitely.
HBO's
Hopefully more
budget.
boxing.
Gonna review the
Hopefully,
budget.
more
now.
boxing
HBO
on
needs to do
HBO.
another show. They need to. Because the boxing after
They
dark
need to
is
develop
a
that
big-
talent.
Yeah.
You know, they needed to get that mid-level.
Remember when Boxing
mid-level
After
show.
Dark was like a regular series,
Yeah.
and there was like
and there
more
were great fights.
Yeah, there were more
Great fights
Boxing
on there.
After Dark than the championship
Right.
boxing.
Because they were building the guys on the
Right.
After Dark platform to get to the championship.
I wanna
boxing.
But it was all the
Yes.
little guys. It was like
Right.
Kevin Kelly.
What was the
and-
first? What was the
Barrera
date?
was on
Barrera.
it.
What was
yeah.
the date of the first Boxing After Dark?
It was at
And who is
the
it?
Forum.
at the Forum.
Okay, what was
Kennedy
the date?
McKinney.
Yeah, against
who?
Marco Antonio Barrera.
Barrera, yeah.
That was in 1996.
Yeah, what date?
I don't know.
Kevin Kelly commented that show. That's why I
Did he?
remember
Was
that.
he?
Yeah, was at the
February
Forum.
3rd.
Oh, it was
February
early.
3rd, 1996. And who made their debut as an announcer?
On that card.
An
On that
HBO
show?
announcer? Max Kellerman?
Roy Jones.
Roy Jones.
Roy Jones
Okay.
Jr. I remember, and I loved his commentary on it.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
He's
well,
still
you know,
good.
he and Kennedy McKinney were Olympic teammates.
Yeah.
That's right,
1988 Olympic squad. What an underrated squad.
That was the same squad with
But think
Kevin
about
Kelly.
all the amazing from like that fight, and there was like Arturo Gotti and that wild
Rig
one.
Bowe. Rig Bowe was on that squad too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kevin
that was
was
an
a-
amazing.
Kevin was the
88
alternate
was awesome.
for the Olympics.
Michael Carbajal,
Wow, my
first ballot Hall of Famer. That card, man, that team, that squad was deep.
Yeah, that was deep.
They were badass.
So,
man.
are we going to do
Oh,
questions?
Ray Mercer.
And Ray Mercer was on it too. Yeah.
If
Are
we
we
do
gonna-
if we do question and answers
I think
today,
we're gonna
Coach,
go
it's got to
over.
be another
We're gonna-
stream.
No, I know.
Yeah.
We're going to do it on.
can do it
your
on mine.
Periscope.
On
You
your
want to
stream?
tell everyone?
Yeah.
You want to tell everyone?
Hey,
what to
everyone,
look
go to my Periscope at Dougie Fisher. I'm gonna do some boxing
DougieFisherFresh.com.
trivia. Maybe skip some. I've been skipping rope this whole time though, so I'm
Right after this
feeling
stream.
it. Yeah, right after this.
Anyway, hey, thanks for watching us.
We need a new sponsor for Dave.
Yeah.
Garcia Poker's not paying enough anymore. We need a new sponsor.
Anyway, we'll see you all next week. Have a great week. Love everybody.